Donald Trump became the first president this week since Ronald Reagan to address the National Rifle Association. But while he reaffirmed his support for gun rights, one of his agencies is using remarkable technology to solve crimes committed with guns. Here's our Power Player of the Week.
You could take the exact same make model of a firearm off of an assembly line, and one will leave one impression and the next one will leave a very unique, different impression.
In effect, fingerprints.
Correct.
Jim Ferguson is head of the ATF's Firearms Operations Division, and he's talking about NIBIN, a national ballistics database that helps connect guns to crime scenes. Some of the best evidence after a shooting are the spent bullet cases which have been ejected from guns. Police take 2D and 3D images of the cartridges.
This would be what we would consider a NIBIN lead.
At the ATF National Laboratory outside Washington, they check the new casings against the 3 million they already have from other crime scenes, looking for matches left by the firing pin, stress marks, and the gun's cartridge ejector.
So what she'll do is she'll then match the two of them up and then turn them so that you can, it's almost like looking at it inside out, so that you can see the depth and the similarities in those depths.
How precisely can you tell this same gun fired this cartridge in Chicago and this cartridge in Denver?
The system itself is more than 95% accurate, and for us to be able to link people, whether it be a suspect in one shooting and no information in the other shooting, we now have a potential suspect because those two incidents are related by the same gun.
Have the .40 S&W Glock. I'm going to load it into the magazine well. Okay, we're ready to fire 2 rounds.
When guns are found at crime scenes, they can be fired into a tank of water. You can see the bullet case that's ejected from the gun. The markings from the cartridge can then be checked in the database to see if that gun has been used in other crimes. And if a criminal has filed off a gun serial number, well, that's no problem for ATF to recover. All of this raises a sensitive question.
You enter the evidence from crime scenes. Do you take this kind of fingerprint of a gun at the point of manufacture?
No. Absolutely not. We do not have any sort of a manufacturer point on the front end because we are prohibited from having any sort of a gun registry, and this allows us to keep it so that only crime guns are entered into the system.
ATF has even set up this mobile forensic lab to take its ballistics database into the field. How effective is NIBIN as a crime-fighting tool?
We are trying to identify that very small population of shooters who are actually pulling the trigger and causing our communities, considerable harm.
Not surprisingly, the city of Chicago is the #1 user of the NIBIN system, adding 1,000 spent bullet casings to the system each month.